Bradley Aidan Johnson here with an email reply, and I am so sorry I didn't do this video a month and a half ago because all the advice in it is going to be 2014 advice, but we'll get into it. Hey Bradley, I'm not sure if you're aware that Ramadan, a month of fasting, is approaching for Muslims. It would be brilliant if you could do a video about it in terms of gym, do cardio, do weights, heavy, light, all the common gym type questions, etc, etc. What to eat and how would you get space, how do you space them out for the time we get. During Ramadan we only get about 5 hours a day to eat, 9 AM to about 2 AM, 9 PM you mean? I know about Ramadan. So it's really like an intermittent fasting thing. Yes it is. Thanks a lot, brilliant channel. Okay, this is a fitness channel. This will not become a religious debate. For those that don't understand Ramadan, it is, to my best understanding, and I've had to look this up, if I say anything wrong I very much apologize. I'm not trying to offend anyone. During the month of Ramadan, people of the Muslim faith cannot eat whilst the sun is up, only whilst the sun is down. So that it fluctuates during it, but it's roughly, with my understanding, about 10 PM to like 3 in the morning. But then it shrinks in time, or expands in time, but changes in time. So it's when the sun is down. So it's a really short eating window. During the time that they cannot eat, when they must fast, they can't consume anything unless a medical situation arises in which it's necessary for them to do so. So they can't have any water or any food or anything, nothing can pass their lips unless something happens, for instance vomiting, for women menstruation, if you have to give blood, things like that. Medical things make allowances for food to be ingested and for the fast to be broken and still within the confines of the fast. But during the time, all things being equal, you can't eat or drink anything whilst that is going on. So what this essentially becomes is a difficult, if we look at it from a physiological and bodybuilding perspective, it's a difficult intermittent fasting window with one really annoying restriction in terms of me just giving really simple advice. So if it's just in terms of an eating window, a caloric window, it would be simply work out to an intermittent fasting window, get used to it and just deal with it. But because you're not allowed to drink water during the time, it brings up the issue of dehydration, and intermittent fasting restricts caloric intake throughout its windows. So you can consume anything as long as there are no calories in it. So you could have black coffee, for instance, but during the month of Ramadan, you can't drink or eat anything during that time, and that is where the difficulty arises with me giving information. So I'm going to do the best I can do for the 2014 preparation for Ramadan bodybuilding. First of all, you need to not do any cardio at all. Not even. If you walk to the gym, you need to drive there. You need to not do anything strenuous. You need to make sure that your energy levels are as high as they possibly could be as sedentary and asleep as often as you possibly can. That is the first bit of advice. Second, your volume needs to be limited as much as possible. If you do 5x5, make it 3x5. If you do 3x8, make it 2x8. If you think you're going to be doing body splits and training 6 times a week, you will not be doing that. So limit your volume, cut your workouts down, and possibly, depending on how you go, you may need to either stop progressing in weight, drop some weight, or definitely don't be going up in weight trying to hit some PRs during the month of Ramadan. It's not going to happen, and even if you do hit it, you'll pay for it the day later, because you are calorie deprived at the time when you're going to the gym, in all likelihood. Now if you train at home, it's possible that you can train during the window of time when you're able to eat. I understand that during the time when the fast is permitted to be broken, there are religious things that happen, as in they may go to mosques and break the fast together, and there's certain ceremonies that happen, so it may be difficult to do that. But if you are at home with family, you may find that there's a time where you can just train on your own. If you are at home, or if you have like a 24-hour gym, that means that you have trained during a time where you will have nutrition more readily available. That would be ideal, but it's not realistic for me to say to people just train at 2 in the morning. Most people can't do that. So I'm going to give advice assuming that you can't do that. Your preparation for Ramadan needs to begin about 3 weeks before Ramadan, and you need to start shrinking your eating window and your drinking window so that you're not shocked by it when it finally arrives. This means Average person wakes up 6 or 7 a.m, goes to bed 11, 12 p.m, and drinks or eats in all between that time. You need to shrink that by an hour on the first day. So take an hour off each side of that, and you're only eating within, say, between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. And then every day you need to shave 20 minutes off that time, warming you up for the time when you actually be fasting. Now the window will be incorrect. So you're gonna have to, your window will be incorrect because it will be during the time when you're awake, because that makes most sense. And you're not gonna be waking up in the middle of the night during when it isn't Ramadan. No one would want to do that. So your window will be incorrect. So what you want to do is shrink the time and shift the window more towards when Ramadan will be. This will prepare your body and your mind more than anything for what's to come. So practically, you start off with a window of, you can say you work your way up to a window that's around 10 a.m. in the morning to say 6 p.m. Yeah, and you can only eat within that time. Then the next day you shave 20 minutes off that or 30 minutes off that. Just generally feel it out. So say you can only eat after 10:30 p.m. and eat up to 5:30 p.m. But then shift it an hour later, so you can only eat after 11:30 and up to 6:30 instead. And then shrink it and shift it again. And you want to keep shifting and shrinking it until it falls in line with the actual time of fasting that Ramadan will be. So when it is actually time for that shifting, you'll be so used to eating within that window that it won't be a shock to you. And if you follow all the other pieces of advice that I've given you, you should be okay from a caloric perspective. Now the other problem that you'll come across is the water. You're going to be dehydrated. So what you need to do is a gradual superload of water. Now this may be more annoying than you're prepared for. What you need to do is drink every hour, 90 minutes during the time when the sun is down. And you need to load up on as much fluid as you possibly can, so that you have stores that have been gradually stored up throughout that time that your body's more likely to retain for the time when you have to be training, so that you can train and endure that dehydration. So what that means is the fast is permitted to be broken at say 9 p.m, 9:30, whenever it is, and the first thing you do is you drink a glass of water. Don't drink to full, because it's a gradual superload. You drink a glass of water. If you drink to full, you just excrete all of it out. You'll be bloated. You won't be able to. It will just fly out of you. So you want to drink a glass of water. You got a glass of water. 30 minutes later, you want to drink another glass of water. 30 minutes later after that, you want to drink another glass of water. An hour after that, you will drink maybe 1.5 glasses, maybe 2 glasses of water. This is going to be a lot of toilet breaks back and forth, yeah. But this is the best way to superload yourself with fluids. And then you want to keep doing that every, say, hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours, the best you can do, up until the point where you can't have fast anymore. And at that point, you want to drink as much water really as you can hold. And then either go to bed, or what the time will be about, it'll be in the morning, so you're probably going to sleep then. Then you want to go to sleep, you probably get up a few times and use the bathroom, but throughout the rest of the day, you'll get gradually more and more dehydrated, but you will have a lot more water available to you than you would otherwise have. That is the best solution I can come up with to combat the dehydration. That's the best you can do to load yourself with fluids. And it'll just be like a day that you don't get that much to drink, but it won't be like, you shouldn't be completely parched throughout the whole day, and it shouldn't affect you, make you too lightheaded. In terms of eating, I would give you advice on how to stagger the eating and work out exactly how much you can consume. But if you've been following what I told you to follow from the month before, you'd have worked all that stuff out if you're following macros, which if you're not following macros, I'm not sure what you're asking me for advice is. So you've been following your macros, hitting your macros, consistently smacking your macros in the face whilst sticking to that window that you've established for yourself previously. And the window will be slowly and gradually getting more and more confined. So you know from your experience what you can eat and what you can't eat, as opposed to just eating regularly, and then you have a tiny window of time with which to eat 4,000 calories, say, and then you're like, I can't stomach eating 4,000 calories in this tiny amount of time. So that's why I advise the gradual ramp up towards Ramadan, which does kind of make Ramadan 1.5 months for you, but it will be 1.5 considerably easier months than it would be if you just shocked yourself. I hope that has been some help. yeah, it's like I said, it's not really a religious debate or anything like that. It's just the basic physiology. Hopefully I haven't offended anyone or in any way cheapened the fast, but that is my best advice I can give for bodybuilding during that time. And yeah, sorry it's a bit late, but hopefully it can help some people that are still in the middle of the fast if they get it in time. bradleyaidanjohnson@gmail.com. If you have any queries or theories or suggestions or anything, let me know. Other than that, like the video, like my Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, of course, subscribe. Peace.